Xonjenese. I'm Social Services Manager with Pay Center for Girls, and today I'm going to get you ready for your turkey trot. So right before you gobble until you wobble, or if you want to do it after you've eaten, you can do so. We're going to start off a little bit with some exercises. You want to stretch and warm up those muscles quite a bit so that you don't injure yourself if you're going out for that walk or that run for that matter. So we're going to start off with Frankenstein kicks. We're going to do 10 of them on each side. First, you will do your Frankenstein kicks from front to back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's all about balance, so we're going to do the same thing on our left side. If you're like me and you need a little help with your left and your right, just do like this. The L is the left, the one that doesn't look like an L is the right. So start off with the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to do some more Frankenstein kicks, but this time we're going to swing our legs from side to side. So it's kind of a funky movement, but it's kind of loosen up those hip flexors. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo. Can't hold that balance. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to switch it up because it's all about balance on the other side. 1, 2, woo! 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh Lord. By now you start feeling a little bit warm. Now we're going to do lunges and twists. Because we want to make sure that we are doing even on each side. You want to hit one lunge, you want to twist, bring it back. You want to do the second leg, 2, twist, back, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now we want to do some Samson stretches, which essentially are lunges with your arms up. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now I want to hit high knees. High knees are not my favorite, so we're going to do it low impact. But if you want high impact, I will show you maybe like 4. So high impact, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Whew, that's all I got. You're going to go low impact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last up, you might see some folks doing this when you're out there doing your little walks, or if you're on a trail, or if you've ever watched a run. Before people get started, they'll squat jump. With a squat, you want to make sure that you are in a nice seated position. So you're going to bring yourself into a jump. It's going to look like this. 1, 2, 3, I'm going to get you guys to do a warm up in your walk, show you how to have proper form in your run, and give the folks who aren't going to be running but who want to have some seated exercises an opportunity to see what it looks like. So stay tuned. Okay, so for my seated folks, here's what we're going to do. We're going to simulate walking and running. Either way, you can always get some good cardio going, get your heart rate pumping, even if you're doing a sit and be fit kind of proposition. I have my handy dandy cream of mushroom, and it's so appropriate because you need cream of mushroom for everything during the holidays. And we're going to use those as our weights today. So if you are in a seated position, when we are walking, we are simply going to bring our arms up and down, because we would leisurely just be walking. So we're swinging those arms, we're working our biceps and we're working our triceps. And if you want to pick it up, because we're now at the running stage of things, you are going to grab your handy dandy cans for extra weights if you feel like you need that or if you want that. And you're going to pump those arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just pump and pump and pump and pump. And it's just like you're running. Your heart rate's going up. I know mine is getting up there because I can look at it with my handy dandy Fitbit here. Not a plug for Fitbit. But right now, I've moved from A3 at resting beats per minute to 110. And the more I pump my arms, the harder and harder my heart is working, and the greater and greater my heart rate gets. And right now, we're at 111, just with the pumping. So, to alternate walking is leisurely, slowly. It's more of a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And running is a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ready? Okay. So, you can run in the house if your parents say so, or you can run outside. If you are running in the house, you'll simply want to do it in place or in a nice small area or in one space where you can kind of go for a couple of minutes and where there's good airflow. So let's say that you decide that you're going to do your walk in place. You are simply going to do your leisurely walking in place, just walking, and we're walking. If you're going to run, it is not a race, I assure you. This is simply about getting that cardio going and getting that exercise up. So you want to make sure that you have nice posture. You don't want to lean too far forward or too far backwards, and you don't want to go too fast because you don't want to injure yourself.
And you're
so
gonna end up like
you're simply going to run, a nice kicking motion. You can see that the spine is pretty straight, and you're just moving to it and just run in place. And that's how you're going to do it when we're running.
and we're off. If you are walking outside, you want to make sure that you are keeping watch of your surroundings, to include neighbors with animals, making sure that you are keeping yourself safe and making sure that you are watching your sidewalk. So you want to look and see where you're walking. Never, ever, ever walk in the street without ensuring that you are keeping yourself safe. Make sure that as you are walking, if you're on the sidewalk, that you're looking at the way that the sidewalk is set up so that you are not in a situation where you are tripping and falling because you're not paying attention in the way that you need to. So you want to make sure that you are focused, and you want to make sure that you are watchful and mindful of your surroundings. If you're listening to music, make sure that your music is not too loud. You want to make sure that your neighbors are alerting you and that you can hear when you are walking. You don't want to miss out on a honking horn, or you don't want to miss out on a dog that might approach you, because you want to make sure that you're alert and keeping yourself safe. Walking outside can be exhilarating. Running outside can be really fun, but you have to do it really, really safe. So we're going to do 5 minutes of this walk. So you can choose music, you can get yourself a podcast, you can get yourself a YouTube clip, or any other thing that brings you motivation while you're walking or running. Start off with a 5-minute walk. We are about 2 minutes into ours at this point. And then we're going to switch over and alternate running for 1 minute and 30 seconds and walking for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Have fun, be safe, and most importantly, because I realized I totally forgot this, stay hydrated. Make sure that you have your water available for you, because walking outside can become really, really exhausting because it's hot. And once you start kicking into that run, you want to make sure that you have your water by your side. So carrying a small water bottle with you, at least 16 ounces, can be really helpful. You want to make sure you don't carry something too heavy, because then it becomes an extra weight that you're using while you're walking. So again, make sure that you are being safe, make sure that you are staying hydrated, and most of all, have fun. Know your body, know yourself, know your limits. Don't push yourself too much, because that's how you cause yourself to have injuries. So pick yourself up a nice little pace, walk really swiftly, and let's start getting that body ready and getting worked up so that we can get ready to start running. We're 3 minutes in. We got 2 more minutes to go before we kick it up into our run. By now, you should see yourself picking up more pace. You might feel your heart pumping a little bit more. You might be perspiring just a little bit. And that is simply because your body is working. You're exercising. You're making it feel good. Keep on going. You got this. In 1 minute and 10 seconds, we're going to start running. You can do it. You got this. And what I can tell you is, if you keep this up, you do 5 minutes of walking to warm up. You do 1 minute and 30 seconds to run, and you alternate it with 1 minute and 30 seconds for walking. And instead of running, because we're just starting out for some people, make it a light jog or even a brisker walk. You then alternate that about 4 times. You'll end up at approximately 1.5 miles. If you're one of our in-the-house folks, you will end up with the same distance and the same number of steps. You're just doing it in one spot. The whole goal is to get that cardio up, is to keep that heart pumping, keep yourself moving, and make sure that you're taking good care of yourself. We are now at the run portion. If you are unable to speak when you're running, your heart's working too fast. So you want to make sure that you are thoughtful and mindful of what your limitations are when you're running. If you can't jog and have a conversation, you're working too hard. Take a minute to breathe and regroup, maybe hydrate, and just pick it up with that brisk walk. I'm going to leave you guys to the running. I know you got it. Hold it. And then at 6 minutes and 30 seconds, which we are quickly approaching, we're going to switch back over to our walk. Keep it up. Fifteen more seconds. Five seconds. And you made it. Now, just alternate. 1 minute and 30 seconds walking, 1 minute and 30 seconds jogging. Do it 4 more times if you're feeling up to it. maybe go 8. You do your pace, and then cool down with 5 minutes of a walk. And then we're gonna stretch. See you back soon. So now that we finished our run, you want to go ahead and get started with a really good stretch. So we're gonna stretch our arms, but first we're gonna start with some head rolls because they're really, really nice. So you can go counterclockwise or clockwise, but you want to roll it around for a little bit just so it can loosen up our neck because we've done a lot of running, a lot of movement, and for some of us, we're not used to it. So we want to make sure that we take good care to stretch ourselves so that we don't injure ourselves. Whichever way you were going, you want to reverse it. Ooh. All right. We're going to just like tilt our head from side to side again, just to give it a little bit of looseness. Just take a little bit of time here to set with that. Next up, we are going to pull our arm across ourselves. So even for my seated folks, we are simply stretching that arm. So just bring it across your body, hold it with the opposite arm just for a few seconds here. Get yourself a good little stretch. Let's switch arms. Now let's bring our arm behind ourselves. Feel that stretch. One of the really, really, really underrated exercises is making sure that you get a stretch on your front of your chest. Because we're always typing and because we just got through running and pumping up our arms, we've tightened up our pectoral muscles, and we want to make sure that we're giving them a good old stretch, and also want to stretch that neck again. So we're going to look up and we're going to pull our arms back. If you don't do this regularly, you might feel like a crunching that's coming across your chest and in your back. And that's because those muscles are so tight from the typing and the texting and now the running. So we want to give a good stretch here. For my seated folks, we are going to do a child's pose, which essentially is a stretch on our lower back. So you can hinge yourself at the hips if you can, and you're going to just pull yourself forward as such. For those who can, you're going to come to your knees. Ooh. And you're going to go seated back and reach your arms out front. Try to push your tailbone down and reach your fingers forward as much as possible. You'll feel the stretch of your arms, and you'll also feel it in your lower back. We're going to do some cat cows here. So move. Move. Gonna move again. Move. And for those in the seated position, your cat cow can simply be a rounding of the back and a straightening of the back. So rounding and a straightening. Next up, we are going to do one of my favorites, which is a pigeon pose. The pigeon pose is simply bringing your arm folded forward as such. And you're going to sink down. You get a little deeper stretch this way. We're going to hold it here for a little bit because we want to stretch our hip flexors. Go ahead and bring it back up. For my seated folks, if you are able, simply cross that leg. Next up, we're going to do the next leg with our pigeon pose, folding it over, pushing ourselves back. See that fold there? And we're going to lean in. You can feel free to stay in your poses as long as you deem necessary, because you got to know your own body, and that's okay. We're going to come over. We're going to do some butterflies. Just flap those wings if you can. Again, getting those hip flexors going. And then if you can, just lean over. For my seated folks, just lean down as much as possible. Do a nice rounding of the back. And stretch. Bring that head down. Feel your spine lengthen because we've done a lot of pounding on that spine. Hold for as long as you need to. Lastly, we're going to inhale up and exhale down. Lean our head from side to side. Get another stretch in. Inhale up. Exhale down. And we're going to clap it up for ourselves. And then we're going to get some more dessert because we've earned it. Everybody have a safe and happy holiday. Bye.